Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining me today. Our country and our city continues to hold our collective breath and keep a watchful eye on a courthouse in Hennepin County, Minnesota, as a jury in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin begins its second day of deliberations. The significance of his trial and the importance of this verdict cannot be underestimated or understated. And whatever happens in Minnesota will affect what happens in Savannah, as it did a little over 11 months ago. Our goal here in Savannah remains the same. One, to create opportunities for reflection and reconciliation while supporting the right of people to peaceably assemble and peaceably protest. The Savannah Police Department, Savannah Fire Department, Emergency Management, and other departments under the auspices of our City Manager, Michael Brown, are reviewing contingency plans to ensure that we are prepared regardless of the verdict. This morning, the City Manager and I spoke with Chairman Ellis of the county and County Manager Lee Smith and his team, because we know that what happens in the city affects the county, and we're partners in this. We are one community, and we want our county partners to be prepared as well. Over the coming days and hours, I will be communicating with members of council, our faith, business, and community leaders to reemphasize the importance of this moment in time and Savannah's preparation for it and reaction to it. Unfortunately, there are still constant reminders that we still live in a very dangerous world. Since March 16th, when 8 people were killed and 1 was wounded in 3 Atlanta spa shootings, the United States has had at least 50 mass shootings, and there have been at least 150 mass shootings already in 2021. Regardless of where you are on the gun discussion continuum, I think we could all agree that this is unacceptable for a civilized nation. So we extend our continued prayers to the people and communities affected, and we implore our national and state leaders to come up with a solution that allows and protects the rights of legal gun owners to bear arms as they wish, but more importantly, to ensure that those who should not have guns legally, or those who have mental challenges, or to those who have exhibited violent tendencies, are not allowed to be able to carry weapons. This Sunday, April 25th, marks 1 month since all Georgians 16 and older became eligible for a COVID vaccine. In Savannah, we continue to make the vaccine accessibility a priority, with 3 mass vaccination clinics open at the Savannah Civic Center downtown, the Georgia Southern Armstrong Center on the south side, and of course, the Gulfstream campus near the airport. But in Savannah, like many places across the country, there's simply more supply than there is demand. And some vaccine appointments are going unfilled. And I will tell you that we cannot get to our next level without vaccines going into arms. For months, people have said we wanted to move to the next level, and now we're here. And the fact is that people are not getting vaccinated. And so therefore, until we do, until we reach herd immunity, our lives will remain a little bit hindered by things like masks. And unfortunately, in some cases, capacity limits and things across our country. We want everyone in our community to know the facts and to get their vax. As you know, I got my COVID vaccine to keep my family, my friends, my co-workers here at City Hall safe, and we're asking everyone to do the same. To make an appointment at Savannah's mass vaccination site or the Coastal Health District location, please visit covidvax311.com. I'm sorry, covidvaxdial311.com. covidvaxdial311.com. Residents can also use the City's 311 system to get information about COVID-19 vaccines and connect with local vaccine sites, including getting help making an appointment. On Saturday, April 24th, the Savannah Undocumented Youth Alliance, the Chatham County Health Department, the Mercer University School of Medicine Latino Medical Student Association, and MedBank are partnering to host a vaccine clinic for Savannah's Hispanic community. This event will be from 1 to 4 p.m. at MedBank, located at 836 East 65th Street, Building 12. And we want you not to forget to share your vaccine photos on social media using the hashtags VaxUpSavannah, VAXUP Savannah, and of course, hashtag Savannah Strong. The Savannah Recreation and Leisure Services Department will open youth baseball and youth track seasons starting tomorrow, April the 21st. Youth baseball teams can reserve practice fields for 2 weeks, with games beginning on May the 1st. To register or for more information, you can stop by the Paulson Softball Complex at 7171 Skidaway Road from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or you can call 912-351-3852. 912-351-3852. Track and field meets will be held on May the 8th, May the 22nd, and June the 5th. The meet locations are still being determined. To register or for more information, stop by the Daphne Park Administrative Office at 1301 East Victory Drive from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or call 351-3842. 351-3842. Savannah residents have likely received a letter like this one. I have one somewhere. Oh, it's in the pocket. Well, it doesn't look like this. It was actually blue. It was a blue letter, but about a partnership between the City of Savannah and the Service Line Warranties of America, or SLWA. This is a partnership with the National League of Cities, of which I've served on the board of directors for 4 years, and which I've worked for years to bring to Savannah. And I'm grateful that this City Council unanimously approved an agreement last October. And today I'm excited to enroll in this program. Simply put, this program offers protections to city homeowners for the water and sewer lines that connect their homes to the city water systems. If you've ever had these issues, you know that repairs to these pipes can cost thousands of dollars, and they're typically not covered by basic homeowners insurance policies or by the City of Savannah. SLWA recommends that you double check your homeowner's policy before signing up for this program. I will tell you, there were many years as the first district alderman that I went to one of our elderly citizens that had a line bust, a main bust, a sewer line bust, and the city staff went out there and found out that it was on the property side of the line, and the city could not fix it. And literally thousands of dollars to repair. The homeowner's insurance could not repair it or did not cover it. And so this elderly lady was faced with someone having to either raise the money or find some way to do it. It's not something you can put off. It has to be fixed. In this case, this is simple as your service line needing repair, and you call a 24-hour phone number, and they will dispatch a local licensed contractor. And there are no service fees, and there are no deductibles. So this is a very good program, and more importantly, it's voluntary for our homeowners. and is provided at no cost to the City of Savannah, and no public funds were used to promote or administer this program. Cities across the country have used this program for years, and again, this is an opportunity to help build equity in our city as we help people to be able to help themselves. Exterior water service line coverage is available for $5.75 per month, and the exterior sewer and septic line coverage is available for $7.75 per month. An in-home plumbing plan is also available for $9.99 per month. And services are billed monthly, quarterly, or annually directly through the SLWA. So to sign up is quite simple. You simply fill out this form with your email address and phone number. You decide what coverage you want and how you'll pay. You sign the form, you send it back, and you are set. And so for me, for the Johnson household that I represent, the Johnson household that I make all decisions for, and if people don't like it, they can get out of my house, because I make the decisions in my house. I am going to enroll for the exterior water line coverage, the exterior septic and sewer coverage, and for me, because I probably need it, the in-home plumbing plan. And so my form has been pre-populated, and looking for the form. It is just this simple. So exterior water sewer line coverage and exterior sewer septic line coverage, they have a discount for the first year. So for $145.88, I could pay annually for both the exterior water line and exterior sewer line. And so that's what's going to do. I'm going to do that because I won't remember to pay it monthly. And I can get also the interior plumbing. And I don't have any checks, so I'm going to pay with a credit card. Yes, sign me up for the protection program from SLWA. And Mrs. Zola, you'll come in. Help me get this to where it needs to be. Yep. And I am enrolled. I guess once I pay, I'm enrolled. Yep. I'm not going to give you my credit card, but that was it. That's simple, and once I'm accepted, I'm enrolled, and I can cancel at any time. So that's important. Now, anyone with questions or concerns can call 311 or the city's utility services customer service line at 912-651-6460. If you would like to reach the company directly or get additional information, you can visit slwofa.com or call 1-844-257-8795, 844-8795. The other good news is, though we know we deal with Savannah first, if you are a county resident but you receive city water bills, you're also eligible for this program as well. So that's good news for some of our county neighbors. Remember, this is a voluntary program. If you are not interested, then throw the blue paper away. You don't have to participate. I think it's a great deal. It's a great opportunity, and so I'm happy to be a part. The Housing Savannah Task Force is actively working on creating Savannah's first housing affordability plan, focusing on housing for the average Savannian that costs less than 30% of their household income. Now, we need your input. The 40 members, including a community representative appointed by each city council member, spent months researching and discussing our various housing challenges. And here are some examples of what they found. One, that housing costs in Savannah have outpaced incomes by a rate of 2 to 1 over the past 30 years. And $21,400 or 40%, I'm sorry, 21,400 citizens or 40% of Savannah's households cannot afford quality housing. 21,400 folks, Savannahans, or 40% of Savannah households cannot afford quality housing. Secondly, that means that multiple earner households making less than $50,000 annually or $24 an hour full-time are going to have a difficult time affording quality housing. Thirdly, single earner households making less than $35,000 a year or $17 an hour full-time are in the same boat. A single earner household making $7.25 an hour minimum wage will have to work 2.5 full-time jobs in order to afford a quality 2-bedroom apartment. I want to say that again. A single earner household making $7.25 an hour minimum wage would have to work 2.5 full-time jobs in order to afford a quality 2-bedroom apartment, which plays right into our discussion about poverty and certainly supports my pledge and I think the council's desire ultimately to ensure that the city of Savannah reaches that $15 minimum wage for our organization. This task force has come up with 5 strategies and 40 action items to help address our city's housing challenges. And we've already jumped forward with that, increasing our contribution to the affordable housing plan, and also by creating affordable housing at the old code compliance building. So we are working in the same direction. You can learn more about their suggestions, and we're encouraging our citizens to take a short survey at savannahga.gov/housing Savannah. savannahga.gov/housing Savannah. And that link didn't work this morning, so. Okay, so it's going to go live now, okay. See, I checked. So. Ultimately, our task force will present the plan to the city council, and then we will decide which initiatives to advance. By solving our housing challenges, this will be a game changer in our poverty reduction efforts, and it will require a community-wide effort. This plan will give everyone in our community a chance to see where they'll fit in and what they can do to help be a part of the solution. Last week, we were excited as we celebrated a major milestone for the Savannah Arena project with the topping out ceremony. The topping out ceremony symbolizes reaching the maximum height of the structure. By topping out, the arena moves into the next phase of construction, including enclosing and finishing the interior part of the building. And if you go out there, you'll see glass now being hung. More than 200 people are working currently at the site, with more needed to help the job. As you know, we have insisted that this opportunity may be made available to Savannah citizens and Savannah companies. And so if you are looking for a job and you want to have a hand in building a part of Savannah's future, we have a spot for you at the Savannah Arena. The city's Economic Development Department and WorkSource Coastal have centralized services at the arena site to help residents to fill out applications and to help contracted MWBE and DBE firms with any questions they may have regarding their participation. The office is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And if you're interested in the job and you cannot go to the arena to apply, you can call WorkSource Coastal directly at 912-659-3555, 912-659-3555. Resumes are accepted but not required, and skilled and unskilled workers are welcome. Fortunately for all of us, we're excited to announce that our arena project remains on time and on budget, and I will be excited to see it open in early 2022. Citywide virtual meetings about creating a master plan for our city continue this week for Forsyth Park. City council members are hosting the Zoom meetings, and the current schedule is tomorrow, April 21st at 6:30 p.m., District 2 Alderman Dietrich Leggett. Monday, April the 26th at 6:30 p.m. with District 3 Alderwoman Linda Wilder Bryan. Wednesday, April the 28th at 6:30 p.m. with District 5 Alderwoman Estella Shabazz. And I might have to get one as well since everybody else has one. Additional meeting dates and times will be added to the list at friends@forsyth.org as that schedule, and a Zoom link to attend the meetings is also listed there. You can only share your ideas until April the 30th, and we want to see as much participation as possible. Finally, our search for Savannah's next city manager continues in full earnest and full steam ahead. The application process closed yesterday, and our consultant development associates of Durham, North Carolina will review the applications and forward them to council for review and evaluation. Ultimately, the total number of applicants will be reduced to finalists that we will hope to bring to Savannah to introduce to our community. Although it's a community-wide process, it is a council decision, and I think we had great success in involving the community before, and I'm hoping to utilize that same process again. I'm confident and hopeful that the council will be able to agree on a candidate that will serve our city for years to come. So that ends my prepared remarks, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning, sir.
I'm very position here just for a second and ask one quick question because
that's scary.
Off of that last point you brought up, city manager search. What has the number of applicants? Do we know that number right now?
I do not. Again, it closed 10 hours ago, and so we don't know.
What about the process do you hope is different this next round compared to last?
Well, I think that a lot of the council had not gone through that type of process before. It's not easy. It is the most important decision that a city council makes anywhere. And it's a lot of pressure. I think council members want to make the right decision. And so there's a lot to be able to evaluate. I think the difference is that we have a search firm that is based here in the Southeast, has a lot of good experience in working with city managers and filling positions in the Southeast. They utilize a team approach that engages former city managers. I think that's very helpful. They utilize what's called an assessment center approach, which allows an additional wide-angle view of additional qualities, judgment, analysis, and various dimensions that will be hopefully helpful to council as we're evaluating a candidate. Interviews are one thing. Some people interview really well. Some people don't interview other ways. But seeing really how they act in real-life situations, how they act in crisis, how they act under pressure. These are simulations that give you kind of an additional insight. I think that will help us out as well. And I think that the council is very clear. We've gone too long. We've been really blessed in our city. We've had Pat Monahan, and we're blessed with Michael Brown now. But we recognize that, and I think Mr. Brown recognizes that, we need a permanent city manager to really help to shape our bureaucracy. And so, again, Savannah's better off than many cities. We didn't, a lot of cities don't have the depth that we have, but it's time. It's time for us to have a city manager, and I'm ready for that to happen.
And lastly, the ratio of approval. I know before you wanted the unanimous or near unanimous vote to approve the next city manager. What realistically are you looking for now with 5-4 the acceptable mark?
In my mind, I want a unanimous vote. Again, I think it's important for the candidate, it's important for the council, it's important for the city, There were times, and again, I've been around for a while, and there were times in which a city manager pick I was not necessarily in agreement with. However, my vote supported the council's candidate. And again, I never spoke any more of it because ultimately that candidate needs to feel the support of this community. That being said, Nato is my optimal. We'll take 8-1, and you know, at this point, if we have to go to 5-4, and a candidate is willing to come, it's that important. Again, you know, we've tried diplomacy, and you know, again, we don't have many more times to go to the well to draw on talent to help us through. Our city deserves a permanent city manager. Our employees deserve a permanent city manager, and we're going to deliver a permanent city manager.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning, ma'am.
Sticking with the city manager search this morning, what are your concerns surrounding the council making a unanimous decision with the history of city council making decisions?
Again, it's 9 individuals, 9 backgrounds, 9 realms of experience, 9 expectations, 9 sets of expectations, and you know, really 9 different sets of people in their ears about what's important for them. And again, this is not unlike any other city in the country. And you know, we just have to hunker down. I recognize that I might be at a little bit advantage based on my background and experience, but it's a council decision. And so I think that we all recognized the situation of not making a decision the first time, and certainly not having someone who will come on a 5-4 vote. I think, you know, we're all older and wiser. And so I think that, you know, I think council wants a permanent city manager. So I think that, you know, we'll use that energy, we'll use that resolve to, you know, hunker down until we're able to make a decision. Again, it's my hope we'll hopefully try some different processes so it's not as contentious, but ultimately, you know, we deserve a permanent city manager. We are, I believe, the largest singular city in the state with a city manager form of government. And so it's important for us to have someone leading the city. You know, the city manager is a very important position in Savannah. And so we need to have somebody in that chair permanently. Mr. Brown has not hung up any shingles, and I don't think he even changed his name on the voicemail. I think it still says Rob Hernandez. So again, we want to make sure that somebody comes and has their name. Michael doesn't have business cards. You know, he's writing it on the back of napkins and stuff. Again, we need a city manager permanently.
And I know the application just closed yesterday, so it might be a little too soon to ask. Is there any sort of timeline, or do you have a goal when you do want a permanent city manager?
Well, I think our goal would be aggressive. I want us to take our time, but I don't want us to take our time because the status of candidates change every day. Somebody's interested today may not be interested 30 days from now. Usually people in the market for a city manager position are also applying for other positions, and so we don't want a good candidate to get away. If they are optimally qualified and prepared, that means other cities are looking at them too. Other counties are looking at them. So I think, you know, I wanted this to be important. I want it to be at the top of our list. I don't want us to rush, but we need to get a move on it.
And switching gears now, the 2 shootings that happened yesterday, in close proximity to one another, what are your concerns about the safety of these neighborhoods where these shootings seem to be happening pretty frequently? Well,
again, I think Savannah is blessed in that they're frequent, but not, I mean, I guess I could say they could be a whole lot worse. Our numbers would indicate that. You know, it's very, very difficult. We live in a time where people want to resolve conflicts by shooting. and we live in a community, in a state in which it is acceptable for guns to be everywhere. And then we complain when guns show up everywhere. Where it's very difficult for police to interdict on guns, to be able to ask legal and lawful questions regarding guns, where it's relatively easy for people to get guns. And then again, we are dismayed when guns appear in our community. We recognize that guns don't kill people, people kill people, but we recognize people who should not have guns, who have guns, is a very dangerous combination in our community. It's unacceptable to us. We know that during the summer, our gun-related incidents go up. It's just natural. So I'll be working with some community members to work on that. As I've said before, I want to reinstitute a gun buyback program personally to get some of these guns off the street. You know, that's the only way you're going to do it. If I don't have a gun, I can't shoot you. So, you know, the chief is here to answer any questions about that. But it appears in this case, as in other cases, when people know each other and they have beef with each other, and it's over drugs, over money, or over a woman, and they can't resolve that in any sensible or reasonable way, it becomes a problem. To add to that, when you are a victim of gun violence and the police ask you who shot you, and you say, I'm not going to tell you who shot me, again, it makes it very, very difficult for the police. And so the community, we want answers, and then the victim doesn't speak, which means two things happen. One, you have a shooter on the loose, and two, you can expect retaliation. So it's a cycle we're all too familiar with. I think our police department is doing all that we can to do that. I think it requires also a community-wide solution, and I need parents and loved ones to step up. When I did my last gun buyback program, 7 of the people who brought guns to me were parents that found guns in their kids' rooms. You need to know who your kids' friends are. You need to know who they're hanging with. You need to know who they are on social media, because sometimes the kids you know and the kid on social media are two different kids. And I say kids meaning younger than me. And we have to continue to create opportunities for people to do well. And again, if people are not employed, they more have to get in trouble. We have an arena project we're trying to get people to come work on. We're working on dealing with reentry for people coming home and having opportunities to do better. And so, it's a continuing process, and we're committed to remaining engaged in it.
And just quickly, I don't think I was here for that gun buyback program. Could you just briefly go over what that was and what could be coming back to the city? Well,
it was against the law for the city to sponsor it. So as an alderman, I partnered with Savannah Youth City, seeded it with my own money, personal money, and then got donations from people in the community, and we bought 35 guns off the streets. And essentially we worked with churches to say that if someone brought by a gun to a church, that we would ask no questions, and then the minister or the rabbi or the imam would then turn the guns into police. So 35 guns in maybe a month or so period. And again, nice guns. Some handmade, but most of them stolen. And so where possible, we returned them to the owner. We still have a problem in this community with people leaving guns as low-hanging fruit. And so people still leave their guns in their cars, underneath their seat, in their console, in their glove compartment, thinking that people don't know where they are. And then we still leave our car doors open, and we'll say, I'm running in the house for a moment. And police will tell you that, people are not breaking into cars anymore. They're simply walking by, and they are touching the car doors to see whether the door will open. And when they're breaking into homes, they're breaking in, they're looking for guns. And so we can help stop these crimes of opportunities by making guns, again, less easy to find. So, my suggestion is you have a firearm and you're carrying it, you have a concealed weapon or whatever, you keep it on your person, but do not leave it in your car, because the gun is stolen and then it ends up somewhere else. And so we want to make guns much more difficult. I'm hoping to work with the chief and our police department, local partners, on a real strong public service campaign, because we shouldn't make guns that easy to ascertain. We just can't. We can't.
And switching gears now, we wait.
Wow. I mean, did you have Cheerios this morning or something?
I wish. As we wait for the verdict to come down in the Derek Chauvin trial, anyone who plans to demonstrate after we do receive that verdict, what would you say to them?
Contact the police. My position, and I think, I've been around long enough for people to know, I support people's amendment right to peaceably assemble, peaceably protest, demonstrate, and peaceably demand redress from their government. I'm thankful to the city managers and Chief Mentor and the police department, because we have facilitated these. We have marched with them, and we have moved traffic as necessary to help keep demonstrators safe. And that's all we want to be able to do. We don't want to stop anybody's protest, and as people know, as long as they want to protest, as long as they want to demonstrate, they can do that, and oftentimes I've joined them. But contact us so that we can help to arrange traffic and to make sure that people are safe. We want people to express themselves, but we want them to also be safe. And we know when people do things like laying in the middle of the street, people get hurt. And so we do not recommend at all, that type of demonstration. And I'll tell you that there will be criminal charges for that. But on the other end of it, if you want to gather, you want to march, again, the city of Savannah supports you.
My final thing, I promise. I think last year when you joined in on those peaceful demonstrations and Chief Mentor and other city employees, it sends a message. What message are you trying to send to these folks that you are with them and you're demonstrating with them?
Well, I think it sends a message that I might be the mayor, but I'm a part of this community. I live here. I think it sends a message that I'm the mayor for 4 years, but I'm a black man every single day. I can't rub off my skin. I can't rub off my experience. And I know fully well from the experiences I've had, even as being a post-certified law enforcement officer and a post-certified law enforcement instructor, that in my car, and sometimes when people don't see me as the mayor, that sometimes I experience some of the same exact things. And that, to be honest with you, something in our system is wrong. When you look at what appears to be a disproportionate amount of unarmed black men who come in contact with police, and something happens. To me, it's unacceptable. And I'm fully supportive of police. I'm fully supportive of good policing. And I'm fully supportive of good police officers. But something is wrong with that. And to be honest with you, I remain mortified by what I saw in Minneapolis that day, as I watched this man who, in my opinion, was restrained by police. What I know about the use of force continuum, the officers had control of him. They had overcome the amount of force or resistance that he was giving. Yet this officer has his knee on this man's neck with his hand in his pocket. And we watched the life go from this man as he called for his mama. And we watched this man say that he could not breathe. Yeah. And, you know, something's wrong with that. Something is wrong with that. And I'm not a member of the jury, so I'm not privy to all of the evidence that they have seen. I'm not charged with that deliberation, but I think the collective belief of our nation is something is wrong with that. This man's own police chief said this was not in the practices of the Minneapolis Police Department. I mean, I'm gonna shut up before I get myself into trouble, but, you know, it could have been me. It could have been my nephew. More importantly, you had officers also around watching, doing nothing. You had people asking for help, asking could they help. You know, we have to demand, we have to insist on good policing. And although there may never be justice, and I will submit to you that a verdict will not bring justice for the Floyd family, there can certainly be accountability. Sure. Thank you.
Sort of touching on that peaceful protest aspect of it, Mayor, some people have those strong feelings that you had right here, but they might not act as peaceful. So my question is, you know, maybe this question for you or Chief Vinter, where's law enforcement in preparation for that civil unrest that may come depending on what the verdict is?
We've met with our partners. We're prepared. We will support peaceable demonstrations. We will not stand for lawlessness, period. Our city has said in a collective voice that we were not going to allow people to wreck our city, and I hope that is still our collective sentiment. There's a difference between peaceably protesting and being unlawful, and we will deal with unlawfulness in a very decisive manner. So, you know, for us, you know, our city is not the place for that. So we expect that our police officers, as they have done before, will be respectful but firm. And I hope that people will respect that.
And switching gears here, would you happen to have an update on the timeline of the archaeological review and proposed shelter site on the west side?
I don't. I expect to discuss that with the city manager. I suspect that it wouldn't take long. I hope that it don't take long, maybe 60 to 90 days. I've never done one before. But I think this was the best of all situations that we could come to. If the argument is that this is sacred land, then we'll find out.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Switching gears once again.
Yes, there's been a lot of switching gears going on today.
I'm going to do it one more time.
All right.
So a few, as I'm sure you know, 2 colleges and universities in Atlanta just required vaccines for some of their students returning to campus. What's your advice to universities and colleges in this area? What do you think they should be doing?
Well, I think that public universities and colleges are governed by the Board of Regents. You know, personally, I would hope that they would require proof of vaccination. You know, I guess, you know, there are some issues about if people want to be able to come. Otherwise, the interesting thing about that is that to get into college, I remember some years ago, I had to show proof that I was vaccinated to attend college. And again, I think that for us, you have to be very careful about an outbreak occurring at one of our universities or college. So, as you know, I'm a fan of vaccination. I'm approaching my 2nd week post-shot 2. I feel good. So I'm encouraging young people, particularly those between the ages of 20 and 29, to get vaccinated. And I would hope that we strongly encourage our folks returning to our community to do the same. That's the only way we get to our next new normal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that it? You want to come back? I think you have a question, don't you? Yeah, we're not going to have you just kind of sit in the cut. I know she tries to hide. We're not going to let her hide.
Okay, so you mentioned the Savannah Recreational and Leisure Services Department starting baseball again tomorrow. Can we expect any particular restrictions on games or who shows up?
See, you had a good question. So again, for us, we've always said that we were going to keep the faith and follow the science. And as our numbers improve slowly, we want to gradually get back into the swing of things, not only from a health perspective of our community, but a health perspective of our young people. Our young people need to be out and engaged, and sports is a way for us to be able to do that. So I expect that it will be a little different. I suspect that there will be some natural social distancing requirements, certainly as it relates to spectators. So we'll be announcing those in the coming days. But things will not be the same. But it's important to get these kids back out in the field, get them playing, and get them active again. I think the parents will appreciate it too.
Okay, and switching gears here. I'm sorry. As far as the Housing Savannah Task Force goes, you also mentioned a survey that is online right now. Can you reiterate what that survey is about right now?
Sure. This is the the outward-facing work of the Housing Savannah Task Force. If you remember, I started the Housing Savannah Task Force to fulfill a campaign promise of creating Savannah's first ever housing affordability plan. We know that Savannah is increasingly expensive in which to live. I am the mayor of Savannah, and I cannot afford to live in downtown Savannah. And when you look at the fact that, less than 50% of Savannah employees actually live in the city of Savannah, that tells you that we have an issue. And so our viability of Savannah is to be able to have it where people are able to live in Savannah. And so, this is a process. It takes not only analysis and data collection, it takes recommendations and tools. We have been doing this work now for several months. 40 members of our community have been engaged monthly and on committee meetings, helping us to get to this point. And now it's an opportunity for citizens to be engaged in this process. And so it's a very short survey. It's live now, and we want people to take advantage of being a part of this. And we're hoping soon to have a plan before City Council that hopefully we'll be able to adopt, and that we can really work in providing housing affordability intentionally for our community to get our city to the point where it's affordable for young reporters to be able to live.
And what other ways can citizens get involved?
Right now it's a survey. It's definitely the survey, and then soon, once we actually release the plan, we'll have public sessions where we'll show it to the community, and we want people's input as well. Again, this is a new process for our city, but I think it's probably one of the most important things that we will do as a city. It feeds into everything we talk about. It feeds into poverty reduction. Because if people can afford a home, they have more money to spend on the other things that they need. And so I'm very proud of the work of this task force, very proud of the work of former Assistant City Manager Israel Small and United Way Executive Director Brent Grant and their leadership of this organization. Certainly people like Martin Freddy, our Housing Services Director, who's been working on the forefront for this for many years. And we're on the move.
Thank you.
Thank you. See, you asked a great question. All right, well, sorry for keeping you all so long today. Blame a certain reporter who switched gears all day today. May God continue to, we ain't saying any names, but her. But certainly keep our country, keep the folks in Minnesota in your prayers. May God bless you. May God bless the city of Savannah. Thank you.